Sip your coffee, morning bright, ideas sparking, coming to light. On the mic, sounding tight, problem solved, day and night, every day, oh yeah. Modern problem solvers, here's your groove. Step by step, watch us move, feel the beat, take and groove. Modern problem solvers, in the groove, oh yeah.
Welcome to the show. We are the Modern Problem Solvers.
Because modern problems call for modern solutions, and that's why we're here.
So today we wanted to talk about a wonderful tool that we use to help us keep our life and world and schedule on track. Mm-hmm. And I think every time I think about us and what we do in regards to this tool, I think, how does anybody else in the world operate without this? And it's what we call an executive meeting. We've called it a partnership meeting as well in the past. And it's a tool we've taken from the previous realm we used to operate in the direct sales, multi-level marketing world, just based on the fact that that organization we were involved with was very family oriented, very couples doing things together focused. And we think that that's an awesome way to go about it. Building a business, or even just building a family, or living as a family day to day. And so we had been doing it during the time when we were involved with that organization, and we continued doing it because it just made too much sense not to. Yeah. And anytime we'd miss it, we would feel really off kilter for the next week. And we know we wouldn't move forward in our goals that we set from week to week if we missed it. So
we found that our calendar, if we didn't at the very least go over our calendar for the week, we would forget things. We wouldn't remember what was happening that week, what we needed to do. Making sure that we meet every single week is so important. And I was a bit resistant to this at first. I found that there were some growing pains. It became something that I started to resent because it would take too long. We would be like meeting for like 2 hours. And at the end of the week, it was just too long to be having a 2-hour plus meeting. So we worked together to find what works best for us, and what we found works best for our dynamic and keeping us on track, just the most important things. And we were going to share that with you today.
Yeah, we had gone through many iterations of this. We'd subtracted and added different components in and just found what works for us. This is a theme you might notice throughout these series. And so we just wanted to share what we're doing now in these meetings to help us stay on track.
We also went from on paper, we had a notebook where we would write everything out in a notebook, to now we have a WhatsApp chat that we use. We went from the notebook to a Google Doc, a shared Google Doc, which was okay. And then we've since transitioned to WhatsApp, which we like the WhatsApp a lot. Pass the phone back and forth for different people writing different things. And we find that WhatsApp seems to be the best for us.
Yeah, we have the structure of it saved in the group description on the chat. And then we just copy and paste that, or from one week to the next, we'll copy last week's and paste it into the text field, and then just erase what we wrote for last week and start from scratch that way. So we always are doing the same things week to week, and we're not missing something. So the first thing we start with is an individual check-in, which I think is important. Most sort of events like this would start with that. How's everybody feeling? And so we categorize that into physically and mentally, emotionally. So, basically, is there anything you should be seeing the doctor about or focusing on health-wise, if in your physical realm this week? Have you been lacking in your physio activities? How's your neck? Can you do something about that? Those sorts of things. And then mentally, emotionally, where you're at. What is your inner temperature, your climate like? And was there anything that happened this week that might have set you off, or maybe even something that made you feel really great?
How can you best support yourself in those areas in the following week? Is it going to the gym more? Is it being a little bit more restful this week? Is it prioritizing sleep this week, mentally and emotionally? Is it meditating more? Is it journaling? Is it taking time to read? All of those things we talk about when we talk about our physical and emotional / mental health. The next section is our calendar review, which I think is probably the most important. So we go over the previous week, everything that happened in the previous week, and then we plan the next week. So things that we may already have in the calendar, as well as things that we want to put in the calendar depending how the week goes. We always add our gym sessions in on Sundays. We normally do this on Sundays. Sometimes it's Saturdays. Sometimes it's Mondays if it's a long weekend, or, our Sunday got out of control. It's important for us to prioritize the gym, but we always want to make sure that it works around anything else we have going on. Like if we have a spontaneous meeting with somebody else, or if we have dance rehearsals, which is something that we're doing right now, where somehow we are doing a showcase for a Filipino cultural days. It happened.
We're going to dance the tango.
Yeah. So that's great.
It's going to be great.
It'll be super fun. Super fun. But yeah, I consider the calendar review to be probably the most important part of the check-in.
Yeah. Yeah. It just helps us understand what's going on. We can talk through any situations that we are foreseeing in the calendar. Are there any nights when we'll probably be tempted to stay up late and maybe let's not do that? I don't know. Just it helps us to forecast what might possibly go wrong and mitigate those situations. Next, we do a relationship check-in. So how did I do? Was there anything that I did to tick you off this past week? Where's your love tank at? Anybody who's followed the Gottman Institute, they're relationship gurus, I would say, without any disrespect to that term. They are phenomenal. And they talk about and institute a love tank check-in. Where is it out of 10? And if it's not at 10, what could I do? This is me asking Mary, what could I do to help you get to 10? Which it probably ties into the love languages. Is there any quality time I need to really prioritize this week? And then also, was there any conflicts that happened that came up that you want to talk through now that the emotion of the moment is gone?
We also use the relationship check-in as a moment to go back on any conflicts, how we handled it and how we wish we would have handled it. And it is also a place, I don't think that we've used it for this purpose yet, but we could also go back and be like, oh, this is how we handled it. And I really liked how we handled it, or I really liked how you handled the situation, just to reinforce the good behaviors.
Definitely. Thanks.
Yeah, absolutely. The next section is just really nice, especially after the relationship check-in. We found sometimes our relationship check-ins could get heavy. If something came up or if there was a pressing concern, the energy could feel a little heavy. And so we added in the section, I appreciated it when, and then fill in the rest, something that your partner did for you that week that you appreciated. And sometimes it's as small as, I appreciated it when you gave me space to read. And sometimes it's a big grand gesture, but it's just a moment of gratitude and appreciation for this person who I chose to be my partner.
Yeah. And honey, I appreciated it. Here's an example, live in real time. I really appreciated it when you got us all set up to record this podcast.
Thank
all
you.
on your lonesome. It was great while I did other things.
Thanks, baby.
Thank you.
Oh, I love you.
I love you. The next item that I really benefit from and I enjoy that going through is, we call it family admin and business admin. It's just the necessities. It's just the to-dos. What do we got to check off? What do we need to do? Are there items we're donating that we got to get to the bin? Are there business items that we need to just like process and check off? Let's just make sure that we don't let a week slide by when the things that we know we need to do don't get done. And I think that's absolutely invaluable. It's
also nice. We write them on our whiteboard and then we can check them off when they're done.
You might be able to see it just in the corner there.
Yeah. Anyone watching the video, we've got our whiteboard here.
Yeah.
The last point that we talk about in our executive meetings is personal goals. It doesn't necessarily have to be a big outstanding thing. For a couple of weeks, my personal goal was to learn how to do a cartwheel. I did not learn how to do a cartwheel.
Not for lack of trying.
Thank you. Not for lack of trying.
You're
just
welcome.
Harder than it looks, and I'll revisit it again some other day. But yeah, a personal goal, something for you to focus on throughout the week to reach. Often for me, it's something to do with physical fitness. So going for a run 3 times a week, we're training for a marathon he's running a half marathon and I'm running a 10-kilometer. I'm not running a full marathon, absolutely not, but in November.
Not yet.
Not yet. Yeah, maybe one day, but not yet.
Yeah, for me, I focused a lot on mindfulness practice. My meditation habit is a habit now, but it wasn't for a long time. And so my goal was however many sessions per week. I look at it as what in 1 week would feel like, good job, I did it. And that's what I usually set as my personal goal. What would I feel proud to have accomplished or have done consistently by this time next week? Those are our executive meetings.
That's it. That's what we do.
And if you can take something from that and benefit, switch it up, take what works, leave what doesn't, add your own things, we hope it adds some value.
Absolutely. We know a couple who theirs is like a minute long check-in at the end of the day. How are you doing this week? What's going on? How can I help?
Daily can work.
Boom. That's it.
So thanks for joining us. We really appreciate the time that you take to share your space with us and allow us into your space.
Thank you so much, and have an incredible rest of your day.